Our project was on marijuana. What type of drug is marijuana? Marijuana is a unique drug. It is a depressant, a hallucinogenic, and a stimulant. It can depress, excite, and impair the central nervous system, which makes it more difficult to classify. It is seen as a depressant because it slows down messages that travel between the body and brain. It can calm nerves, relax tense muscles, and lower inhibitions. Hallucinogens are a class of drugs that cause profound distortions in a person's perceptions of reality. Cannabis can also cause symptoms similar to those of other hallucinogens. A 2016 study by researchers at Arizona State University found that teen boys who used marijuana at least once a week were at an increased risk for experiencing paranoia and hallucinations. Stimulants increase alertness, attention, and heart rate. Many people use marijuana to enhance their mood and treat depression symptoms. What does it consist of and the different strains? Marijuana consists of the dried and crushed leaves, flowers, stems, and seeds of the cannabis plant. The main strains are cannabis sativa, cannabis indica. They differ in their chemical composition, physiological, aesthetic, and medical application. The THC content in the two strains differ. Sativa versus indica. Sativa-dominant marijuana strains tend to have a more grassy-type odor to the buds, providing an uplifting, energetic, and cerebral high that is best suited for daytime smoking. A sativa high is filled with creativity and energy. Being high on sativa can spark new ideas and creations. A lot of artists take advantage of the creative powers of sativa to create paintings. This strain is grown in countries that have hotter climates, and it is brighter than the indica strain, has narrower leaves, and reaches an average height of more than 6 feet. Sativa versus indica continued. Indica originates from hash-producing countries, i.e. Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Turkey, Morocco, and Tibet, and its effects include relaxation of the body, stress relief, and calmness and serenity. Some believe that indica is effective as a pain reliever and as a treatment for insomnia. Medical marijuana patients often smoke indica buds in the late evening or right before bed. Indica grows well in warm, not hot climates, and the plants are shorter, less than 6 feet tall, and have a darker green color with wider leaves. Indica generally is lower in THC. A brief history of marijuana. Many societies discovered marijuana as a value crop when they realized that marijuana's woody stems, known as hemp, produced a fiber that could be used to make cloth or rope. The term cannabis comes from the Greek word for hemp. Initially, Spaniards brought cannabis to the Western Hemisphere as a source for fiber and seeds. For centuries, the seeds have been pressed to extract a reddish oil that is used for medicinal and euphorogenic purposes. Marijuana contains hundreds of chemical compounds, but only a few contained in the resin are responsible for causing the euphoric high. Botanists have never been able to pinpoint the exact origin of cannabis. The plants also produce a resin, which is a solid or highly viscous substance of a plant or synthetic origin that is typically convertible into polymers, with an active ingredient that affects the central nervous system.
So continuing with brief history of marijuana. Some botanists think it is originated in Asia. Ancient Chinese documents contain the earliest recorded name of hempa, meaning fiber-producing plant as well as valuable or enduring. Ayurvedic documents from 600 BC describing an intoxicating resin from the plant. The 5th century BC Greek historian Herodotus recorded that the Scythians, a group of ancient tribes of nomadic warriors who originally lived in now we call South Siberia, burned the top of the plant, producing a narcotic smoke. A 1st century Greek physician wrote that hemp was made into intoxicating cakes. There are records of the Chinese using marijuana to treat various illnesses such as gout, malaria, gas pain, and absent-mindedness. While the Chinese recognized marijuana's medical use, it was eventually banned because of its unpredictable intoxicating effects. It was later made legal again because the use could not be controlled. I never said it. Hold on 1 moment. Okay. In India, marijuana was an essential part of Indian ceremonies for thousands of years. Early writings describe a ritual in which resin was collected from the plants. After fasting and purification, certain men would run naked through cannabis fields. The cleaning resin was scraped from their bodies and cakes were made from it and used in feasts for centuries. For centuries, missionaries in India tried to ban marijuana use. However, they failed because its use was too highly ingrained in the culture. From India, the use of marijuana spread throughout Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas, with English settlers bringing it into the American colonies. The ancient Greek also knew about marijuana. Galen, a physician, surgeon, and philosopher in the Roman Empire, described the general use of hemp and cakes, which was eaten in excess to produce narcotic effects. Herodotus again described the Scythian custom of burning marijuana seeds and leaves to produce a narcotic smoke in steam baths. It was believed that breathing the smoke from burning the plants would cause frenzied activity. A group of people would stand and smoke, laugh, and dance as an effect. Oh, so let me go. Let me go. Stop being mean. Okay. In North America, hemp was planted near Jamestown in 1611 for use in making rope. By 1630, half of the winter clothing at the settlement was made from hemp fibers. Oh, makes sense. Hemp was also valuable as the source of fiber for clothing and rope for the pilgrims in Plymouth. To meet the demand for fiber, a law was passed in Massachusetts in 1639 requiring every household to plant hemp seed. However, it took a lot of manual labor to work the hemp into usual form, resulting in chronic shortage of fiber for fish nets and other things. George Washington also cultivated a field of hemp at Mount Vernon for medical purposes and to make rope. Signs and symptoms of the use. Some signs of marijuana use are a sweet odor similar to burnt rope in the room or in clothes, seeds or leaves in the pockets or position, eye drops for disguising red eyes, excessive use on incense, room deodorizers, or breath fresheners, and rolling paper or pipes hidden somewhere. Some symptoms include eating, binge, appearance of intoxication, yet no smell, excessive laughter during the initial use, usually the first hour. There's a display of animated behavior, loud or excessive talking. Hours later, there's a display of fatigue and drowsiness. So some immediate effects. Some immediate effects of marijuana include altered senses. Example, seeing bright colors. An altered sense of time, changes in mood, impaired body movement, difficulty with thinking and problem solving, and impaired memory. Long-term effects. Some long-term effects of marijuana use include respiration problems, memory, and learning impairment, fertility issues among both women and men, mental illness, and addictive properties. I do not know how to pronounce words. And that is all for this one.
Treatments for marijuana addicts. They can either go to addiction rehab or a treatment center. Those are the popular treatments for marijuana users. Usually with the treatment, they have programs that can last 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, depending on how much time you need to recover. They also have inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, and luxury and executive treatment. What impact has it had on society? Marijuana affects perception and judgment and is associated with low achievement and success. Marijuana also causes memory and learning problems, which can especially affect those in high school or college. Marijuana use can also cause delinquent behavior, aggression, rebellion, and poor relationships with family, especially parents. According to the social impact of drug abuse, the effects of marijuana in the workplace depend on specific tasks that are being performed. Highly skilled tasks that require concentration and memory are more likely to be affected by drug use than the work itself. Profile of the type of person who would use this drug. They are looking to relieve pain, not just to get high. Medical marijuana, but it had them addicted to just to get off the streets now all the time. Mostly men, middle age, but since weed has gotten popular and more known to people. I would say the age range is from 18 to 30, and they have probably used other drugs. Different names other than marijuana: weed, ganja, dope, reefer, hemp, pot, gas, bud, herb, or grass. Pharmacological effects. Marijuana can be used to treat glaucoma, the second leading cause of blindness, which is caused by uncontrollable eye pressure. Animal studies have shown that marijuana extract can help kill certain cancer cells and reduce the size of others. Some research indicates short-term smoking of marijuana improves breathing for asthmatics. Some studies indicate that muscle spasms are relieved when patients with muscle disorders such as multiple sclerosis use marijuana. Marijuana has both convulsing and anticonvulsant properties and has been considered for use in preventing seizures associated with epilepsy. Impact of marijuana on society. The impact marijuana has on society is bigger than you would think. Nowadays, young adults 18 to 22 use marijuana as their number one gateway drug. Marijuana is a drug that is highly used by teens, whether it be to look cool, peer pressure, or to calm a person down. Physiological and psychological effects of marijuana. Physiological is in the behavior aspect. People feel more relaxed. Sometimes when it's one's first time, they are excited to see what's happening, so they want to feel relaxed. After use, many people feel their vision and senses very lightly with a sense of relief and relaxedness. Psychological. You can see physical effects in the color of one's eye, your heart or pulse rate increases. Some people may feel a cotton mouth and tiredness depending on the strain. Effective and ineffective methods of drug prevention. Effective is activities that help promote self-esteem, training in certain areas, and learning information about different drugs and the dangers. Ineffective is counseling students, recreation such as community service options, and certain programs focusing on moral health. And these are our references.